Jasmin, hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm great, thanks.
It's so
How
lovely to
are
see you.
Lovely to see you too. It's
How's it
awesome.
how's it how's it going over there?
Oh, it's pretty wild. Yep. New Zealand's in the thick of it at the moment, but it's got to keep soldiering on.
Exactly. So tell everybody your full name.
Yeah.
You've mentioned you're in New
Yep.
Zealand, but tell everybody whereabouts you're
Yep.
based, and a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so Jasmin Sturm is my name, and I'm based in New Zealand, and I live in the country, just half an hour from one of the main cities, Auckland. Yeah. What was the
Wow.
next question?
Tell us a bit about yourself.
Okay, so I'm a naturopath, and I've been a naturopath for nearly 25 years. I live on a small property, 3 acres, with my partner. We've got a cat, a dog, ducks, and chickens, and we live off grid. So I do spend quite a bit of time doing permaculture. So we're growing all our own food and trees, and we're sort of setting up a little bit of a community so people can come and stay, like possibly retreat and things like that, and having workshops. So that's something that I'm quite busy doing as well.
You are
Yeah,
literally living my dream. Literally. And
we have
listening to
nice weather.
wow, and listening to you talk about all of that, my heart is just like, oh, why can't I be there? Why can't I be doing that? That's what I'm desperate to do. It must make you
Yeah.
feel so good.
Oh, it does. And so we've been here 5 years, and we really did start quite basically. Like we had our teenagers live here too, but they've left, and we actually live in a renovated shed, and it's just beautiful. You learn to live. Well, being in off grid, you learn to live with the elements and the seasons, and
Yeah.
knowing when you can turn the power, because we do run out of power sometimes when it's grey and in winter,
So what's the biggest challenge then, living off grid?
Well, knowing, I guess the biggest challenge is just get that part initially, getting used to knowing when you can use different utilities. Like you can't use the jug, that the iron or the wash or the dryer or the washing machine in winter. You can't do things in the evening. So we just have to be really mindful of how much power we've got. Yeah, and also water as well, but that's
Yeah.
probably because we use tank water. Yeah.
Wow.
But it's fun. I love it.
I need to pump you for information about all of this stuff because I don't know any of it really. I mean, I'm quite experienced now with the growing of vegetables, but it's the actual living off grid. That's what I want to know
Yeah.
more about. I find it
Oh,
fascinating.
yeah, I
So,
love it. Yeah.
so tell us more about your journey and how you ended up waking up spiritually.
Well, it's quite funny actually, because I grew up in quite a mainstream family in a way, that my mum was a nurse. But when I turned 25, I must have put this landmark. You know how, what do they call it? These little signposts for you to wake up. And my birthday's the 25th. So I thought, oh, something I got involved in numerology. And then just started, I just fell into it. I just loved it. I loved learning whatever I could about anything, and used to go to the library and get out any books that I could find, because in those days that's pretty much books that you the only way, because there was no internet. And then I went to a channeling group and meditation, and I just loved it. And actually, he used to channel galactics. Then that was back in the late 90s.
Wow.
Yeah, so that I really got into it a lot then. But in terms of actually really waking up to what's going on, I when we went into the first lockdown in New Zealand, which was in April 2020, I remember walking down the stairs and thinking, this is what I'm here for.
Yeah.
And I knew this was my purpose, was now tied up in what's going on now. So it's just been an amazing journey since then, with learning what's going on and really making the most of sort of, it's been filling up my life, if you know what I mean, really just focusing on my spiritual journey and ascension, and being as high vibrational as I can, really. So yeah, that's a little summary, I guess.
And how is it that you ended up finding hypnotherapy?
Well, I remember reading, is it Robert Newton, In Between Lives? I think
Oh,
that's his name. Yeah.
Michael.
Oh,
Yeah.
Michael Newton. I remember reading that years ago, and I loved it because I just loved learning about, why I'm here, what I
Yeah.
can learn, and how I can grow my spirituality. And then I was just watching all these different things, and I came upon on your stuff about ascension and the two-wheeled split, and yeah, that just got me really hooked, I guess. And
Yeah.
I've loved watching all your videos. And then I saw that you were doing a course, and I think I heard someone speaking about it, and I'm like, oh, I really want to do that course. Oh, but it's the timing's wrong. And then you had one that was suitable for us over here, or
Yeah.
down here, should I say. And yeah, I was so excited to do it because I'd actually had an astrologer say to me early last year. She did a reading, and at the end she picked a card for me, and the card was, I can't remember if it was learning or education, and she said, oh, you're going to be learning something else. And I'm like, no, I don't want to learn anything else, because I just thought, oh, I just want to be on the land and learning about permaculture. But obviously here I am. I did decide to learn hypnotherapy, and
Yeah.
I love it. It's
And you're doing
great.
so well.
Thank you. It's fun, really
It is
is.
fun though, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, I feel like you actually go on the quantum journey with all these people. It's quite an honor.
It really is, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's a sacred journey, isn't it?
Oh, it is. Yeah. It's just so fascinating. I just think it's like there's so much creativity in what people experience, and it's so different for everyone.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah.
So since you've been doing the sessions, what's been your favorite thing that you've experienced in a session? Or is there any really great information that you witnessed unfold in a session?
Well, a couple of things. I really love seeing people connecting with, like, a lot of people might say, well, what is my purpose, for their higher self question. And I love them getting that clarity and that knowingness, and realizing, oh, actually I am on track. I do know what I should be doing. I really love that. um, and I also had an amazing journey with one lady, and she doesn't mind me sharing this, that she went back to the call of being coming to earth,
Yeah.
and it was just so beautiful. She as like she said, she was a star seed, and she had the feeling in her heart she was on a different planet. And she said everyone was called by Gaia to come here. And well, not everyone, but she felt the call. And so we went forward to that, the next part, and she was on a ship, and she was the representative of these people, and they were looking at the planet and working out where people needed, or the light needed to build the grid of light of people. And it was just so beautiful listening to her and seeing a realization for her of that, what her path was. And yeah, it was just really amazing. And then the third part was that she was actually, how did she call it? It was like the waiting room of coming to the planet, and she saw her tribe of people that she'd come here with. And she had a lot of homesickness come up for her, which was really interesting, because I know a lot of people feel like starseeds don't feel like this is, they don't feel connected with, well, they don't feel the same as everyone else, and they feel a yearning for home.
Yeah.
And it was just awesome going on that journey with her, and her coming to this point where this is what I'm meant to be doing. And yeah, that was a really fun one.
And you've had some pretty amazing sessions yourself, haven't you?
Oh yes.
Because you actually were one of my volunteers on one of the courses that I ran last year, and we did your session live in front of everybody that was on the course. And I remember you were seeding one of the layers of New Earth, weren't you? in this lifetime that we went to.
Yes, and I was on it was like an asteroid and collecting samples of flora and fauna.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
fascinating. And wasn't it blue,
Yes.
the part of New Earth that you were seeding? It
Yeah,
was wonderful,
it
absolutely
was.
wonderful.
It was a really
Um,
great experience.
yeah, and it does feel so incredible, doesn't it? The first time you have one of these sessions, you can't really describe it. Part of you thinks, I don't know if I did it right, and then the other part of you's thinking, wow, that was amazing.
Yes, it's like in a deep meditation sort of thing too, when you just feel that real bliss.
Yeah,
Well, that
absolutely.
one was anyway. They're not all like that, are they?
No, not all of them. Yeah. Um, so tell me about your own ascension journey. How has that happened for you? When did you realize that ascension was happening? How did that occur?
Well, probably once I really saw what was going on out there around us, and then that's where I was searching for, because I remember like in the 1990s there was a lot of talk about what was excuse me, going to happen on the planet in the future, and I seem to have forgotten about it for a while, being busy being a mum and working and that. And then that's where I was really drawn to the hypnotherapy online, just to see the journeys that people had gone on. So it's taught me a lot about following my own intuition, and I connected a lot with like what's going up in the sky. I loved last year looking at how white the sun was.
Yeah,
I was always watching it, so that's kept me going actually with forward with what's happening on the planet. And I love to look at all the different options that could be happening, because I know there's so many things, the solar flash or the different things. And but I like to keep all my options open, I think, because
yeah,
I feel that we just don't really know, and it seems like there's going to be so many different realities for different people
yeah.
moving
And
forward.
that is the thing, isn't it? I mean, there's many layers and levels to this fifth dimensional space that's going to be opening up. Excuse me, I'm going to cough too. Um, and I've experienced so many of those different levels and layers with different people, and I've been to each of those layers multiple times and experienced it through the eyes of different people, and they've explained things in similar ways. Um, and I have this belief that everything that everybody says that they experience will happen in a timeline, because
Yes.
we are creators and we all have our own truth. We all live in our own universe, really, because we're looking out at what we can see through our own lens. Um,
Yes.
and I hear many people that are invested in the idea of everything beginning with the solar flash, but then other people will describe it as actually everything begins within you, and it's the change within you that actually causes the dimensional change. And then I've heard other people say, oh, when we get to a certain point, ships will come and will take people. And that is their truth. That is what resonates for them. And there's many different things going on here. But for me, I've always felt as if this is absolutely an inside job. So whether the sun's
Mm.
involved, whether other beings are involved, and I'm sure they are,
Mm.
this is all to do with us. We had to come here for a reason, and that was to bring our higher consciousness, our higher light souls to this dimension in order to be able to be a catalyst almost to create this change. And however this unfolds, I believe it does start within us, and we have to first of all realize, oh, things aren't quite how we thought they were, and then we've all got to come together and talk
Mm.
about the world that we want to live in. And
Yes.
then we have to build it, because
Mm.
that's how we do it, isn't it? By bringing our energy together and saying, this is what we want, then creation responds. And if what we want is that higher vibration, then that is
Mm.
what opens up. That is what we unlock. And the only way you get to that higher vibration is by holding that higher frequency inside of oneness, of love, of looking after your brothers and sisters, of being kind.
Yes.
And I really do feel that it is time for us to start growing that heart energy. And I've heard that in many, many different sessions. We must begin to grow our heart energy. It's not just enough now to be awake.
Mm.
It's not just enough to
And
be awake.
yeah, and dropping from your head into your heart.
Yeah.
And I think like that's why I living in such a beautiful environment as I do, I'm really blessed because I can stay away from the outside world and, go and explore and see lots of nature and that. But it's also I love for other people to come here and they say they can feel that frequency rise. And it's just really nice to be able to share that with people and to role model and show people how, even though there's so much turmoil going on, there's look at all these moments of beauty that we have, and we've still got the sun is shining and the plants growing and the birds and seeds coming forth. And yeah, it's so different from the other world.
And that's where the power is, isn't it?
Yes.
If you go out into nature and you stand in a forest and you listen to the birds sing and you feel the sun on your face, you feel the breeze, you see the moss growing on a
Mm,
rock. I mean,
yes.
it's a miracle. It's an absolute miracle. And there is no sign of any pandemic. There's no sign of
No.
any of that. It's literally just within the minds of man.
Yes.
Man are
I know,
creating their
totally.
own demise. And, it's what you choose to focus on. Do you choose to focus on the world, the 3D world that is quite clearly unraveling?
Mm,
Or, quite rightly, as you've just said, do you choose to focus on the seeds that are still sprouting? Creation is still there. The magic is still there. Do you
mm,
choose to focus on the food growing, being out in nature, the positive connections that you have within that community that you've got there? And it's a choice, isn't it? I think at this point in time, we're being given a choice. What do you choose? Do you choose love? You're going to put your
yes.
awareness on love and creation, or are you going to put your awareness within fear? And I am not choosing fear. And that's why I'm very, very funny and choosy about what I will watch, what I will allow myself to watch, what I will allow myself to talk about, because I believe
Yes.
words
Yeah,
have power as well. And if you're constantly
absolutely.
talking about the negative stuff, you kind of lend your energy to it, don't you? So I
Mm,
think all of us that want that new earth, that live and breathe ascension, new earth,
yes. Yes.
higher light, higher frequency vibration, we need
Yeah.
to walk the walk, not just talk the talk. We need to actually walk it, live it, breathe it, live it
And
like we
yeah,
are on new earth now.
I totally agree. And that's the thing about being connected to within, because if the more you can, like, I'm an empath, and I so could, like, if I go into a low frequency area or with lots of people, I feel my energy being drained. So I like to read. We just need to be more in touch with our feelings and our connection, and yeah, realize how draining that is on you as well, going into those sort of environments or just watching all of that stuff, because really it's all in the mind. It's all in captivating our minds and distracting us from actually what's real, and I just sort of feel like no matter what, the I just want to live my life to the fullest of with honor, really, of what we've been given and how we can make the most of this. And yeah.
Yeah, I agree
Yeah.
fully and totally. The war is up here.
Mm,
This
yeah.
is a war for the minds of the people, and the minds are what have led the soul in this reality. And what
Mm,
those of us that are on the ascension path are realizing is, this might be an effective tool. It might have helped us navigate through the annals of time thus far. But actually, these higher consciousness beings and the higher realities, they are navigated by the heart.
mm,
And, when you have a telepathic conversation with a higher consciousness being, that is like a transfer of heart energy. um the heart has its own field.
Yes, it's
it,
beautiful, isn't it? Yeah.
it's all about the heart, and that is what we absolutely must. And this is going to be a journey. This is going to be a journey for us, because we have lived as heart-centered beings in a mind-driven world for
Mm,
so long.
mm.
We're
It's
going
the
to
new
have,
paradigm,
yeah,
actually, isn't it?
yeah,
And that's the programming that we've had, which has been in our mind, and we actually have to reprogram ourselves into
it's,
our heart.
yeah, I mean, it's such a trip,
Yeah.
isn't it? So now, after having to adapt to try and, we've never really fitted in, let's be honest, but
No.
to
Yeah. Yeah.
adapt to try and get through life, now we've got to unadapt, take all of those coping mechanisms away. Many of us have been snuffed out through multiple lifetimes, because we were speaking truth, we were speaking light. So many have got blocked, closed down throat chakras. All of those need opening up. Dense energy needs taken out of the heart, because the heart has not been recognized in this reality for a
No. It's
good
been
long
shut
while.
down.
So we've
Mm,
all got to open our hearts up. We've got to get rid of all of that junk and baggage that we've been carrying in there, and move forwards as heart-centered beings. The only way we're going to do that is literally just to ignore what's going on in 3D. Just
mm,
3D will do what 3D is going to do, and we have to build the new earth
yeah. And
inside.
I think and it's exciting making all these connections with people that are on the same wavelength frequency. And
Yeah,
I actually feel I don't feel alone, because I know there's all these star seeds, and a lot of them I've met online, and I just know they're there all twinkling away. And I just
yeah,
feel like we've got this grid around the planet that is just, really making those connections, and that the telepathy is coming in more too.
yeah.
It's really it's exciting,
It is coming in.
and it is.
I
Yeah.
had an experience with somebody over Christmas where, this is Christmas Eve. This is another starseed that lives somewhere in the world, and I'd not spoken to them for about a year. So there was no reason
Wow.
why that individual should be on my mind. But as I'm sorting the kids' stuff out on Christmas Eve, they popped into my mind, and I just knew that they needed my help. And so I contacted them there and then, and they had literally just had something really, really devastating occur, and I was able to help them. But that just instantly came to me like like a beacon. I just
Wow.
knew that she needed some help. And that is all about that telepathy, that connection coming online. We're going to become more aware of
Yes.
other people that we have connected with. And I can't wait to explore that
Mm.
in
And it's
in
about
more detail.
allowing, though, isn't it? We have to allow, instead of getting caught up in thinking what's going on, and this person says this and this person says that. It's like creating that inner space to just allow and connect, and like tuning into crystals and all manner of things, which I've heard they're being activated more. So I think that's really fun. I want to
Yeah.
play around with that more too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I want a whole lifetime just working with crystals. And it's funny what you said earlier as well about the fact that we've got all of these star seeds all over the world glittering away, but that we've actually found each other through the online, through the technology. And
Yes.
isn't that
Yes.
ironic?
It is so ironic. It's beautiful though, isn't it? Because it's like it's a paradox.
Yeah. I mean, you could think about that for hours, couldn't you? The fact that we've had to use the corrupt system
Yeah.
in order to connect our organic system, in order
Yeah.
to take the corrupt system down.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
fascinating.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to meditate on that later today, I think, and give that some good thought. But it is beautiful, and we are scattered all around the world, but we're beginning that process, and we have been doing this for a good long while now, of
Mm.
really connecting in. And it is the time now that we've got to trust. We've got to trust. We've got to let go of
Yeah.
all of that low frequency energy that we've carried
Yes.
about previous lifetimes of opening our
Yes.
throats and speaking our truth,
Yes.
because this is the lifetime that we have to speak. We have to let our frequency shine. So we've gone through all that journey of dimming our light to
Mm.
try and not get snuffed out. And now we're just going to go,
Hiding.
ah, yeah, and shine
But
as
that's what
bright.
I love about your work though, Laura, because the whole cleaning of the chakras and clearing out energy, it makes it such a complete package as opposed to just one part of it. And
Yeah,
that's what I found with naturopathy. It was like I could help people with what they are eating or a little bit about mindset, but there was still the same. Well, it just wasn't getting deep enough, really. That's why I think people are really becoming more open to that, to
yeah,
finding their purpose and to, well, how can I really change? And yeah, I just think it's such a great tool
yeah.
to utilize in that way.
I agree. And I
Mm.
think all of us as a community of healers, we need to get together and discuss all of our different ways that we heal and
Absolutely.
discuss, what we can build on that. Is there some new techniques that we can
Yes.
create that involves many, many different types
Yeah.
of natural healing? And I know you and I were discussing this earlier in terms of,
Mm.
all of the different things that can be used to heal the body in a natural way, as opposed to relying on big pharma.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely.
and that particular route, and that's
Yeah.
something that we need to concentrate on moving forwards and put some real energy behind that as well. So if somebody
Yes.
wants to book a session with you, how do they find you?
Well, I've got my website. I haven't changed it yet to my new business name for this is going to be Soul Alchemy with Jasmin. So it's actually called
Yep,
walkwithnaturopath.co.nz. And you can email me, Jasmin at walkwithnaturopath.co.nz.
and I'll put all of that information.
Yeah,
I'll put all
yeah,
of that in the description underneath this video,
awesome.
so
And
people
and
can
I'll
find you.
yeah, and I'm on Instagram as well. So I'm going to have the booking link in there as well.
Awesome. I need to get
Yeah.
down with the kids and get on Instagram. I've never done that. And apparently TikTok as well.
Oh,
TikTok's
I haven't got that far yet.
yeah, that's the new spiritual place to be apparently. But I mean,
Ah,
I can't get my head around that, because isn't it just like each video is a minute or two long? I mean, I
yeah.
wouldn't have time to say anything before that video would be
No, you
over.
wouldn't.
Yeah, I'd
You're
still I'd still be talking about what I had for tea last night. Yeah, so maybe that's not the platform for me.
no.
But
I mean,
Instagram, yeah.
Instagram's good. You can do nice little stories and little sayings and yeah, I haven't seen you on there yet, so
No, not on there yet. Probably won't get on there,
no,
if I'm
I think you've
honest.
got enough to do.
Yeah,
YouTube's pretty good.
yeah. It's been lovely to see
Awesome.
you today, Jasmine.
Oh,
Thank
thank
you
you.
so much for bringing your beautiful energy into this space. And I so wish that I was there with you on your amazing community with your land and all of your vegetables and all. But one
Yes.
day. And I will see you again soon, my love. Thank you so much.
My pleasure, and thank you.
Take
I
care.
feel
See you soon.
blessed.
Oh, it's
Bye.
my pleasure. See you soon, my love. Bye
Bye.
bye.